We are joined right now by Alex Del Carmen, a professor of criminology at Tarleton State University.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Alex. I have to ask, based on all of the interactions that you've had with law enforcement officials through the years, what were your initial thoughts on how he targeted this secure federal facility?
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me. Look, I think this person absolutely knew what he was doing. Obviously, the individual must have gone to this location several times and seen exactly what the points of entry, points of departure were, vulnerabilities, and exactly how he was going to be shooting at people. So through my lenses, obviously, this is a very intentional act, something that was pre-planned and something that probably took a few days for him to stage out.
You know, Alex, there's so many questions. Who was the target? ICE officers, detainees? How did the shooter gain access? How did he know what time the van was going to be there? To touch on your point, how do you know who might be in the van? What step in the process are law enforcement at right now in answering those questions to find a motive?
I would say that they're in the early stages, right? This just happened this morning, and part of the problem here is that the crime scene is outdoors, which means that it's been already contaminated by the elements, right? So I'm sure law enforcement moved very quickly to try to secure as best as they could the pieces of evidence that are going to be, substantial clues for us to figure out why this person did what they did. However, I am almost certain that at this point of the early stages of the investigation, they're trying to still piece it together. But within a few days, maybe even a few weeks, we should know or have a better sense of why this individual was targeting and who he was targeting at the point of the shooting this morning.
I know every facility is different, but big picture, will this change how ICE and other agencies operate when it comes to moving detainees?
I sure hope so, right? So part of the challenge here is that, as noted by one of your earlier guests, you need to have a sally port that is actually protected at the time that the individuals being brought into the facility or being removed from the facility are protected from any outside threats. And in this particular case, we saw that that was not the case. In addition to that, there needs to be a perimeter check. There needs to be intelligence being gathered in terms of social media presence, many other things that are likely going to come into play here. The problem with that is that they're expensive, they're time consuming, and they take a while to implement.
All right, Alex Del Carmen, professor of criminology at Tarleton State University. Thank you for making time for us this afternoon, sir.
Thanks for having me.